When you hear the words, "you've got cancer," it's like a punch to the gut. When you hear the words, "you've got incurable cancer," it's like an earthquake hits. It changes absolutely everything. How long have I got? Is the question that rolls around in your brain again and again and again. For some, it feels like falling through a trapdoor you didn't even know existed. For others, it's like numbness, as if your brain just cannot process the weight of what you've just learned. You wake up every morning knowing that this is not something that you can beat. It's not something you can get past. This is something you're going to have to live with until that cancer kills you. Hi, my name's Jeannie. If you're new, welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about living with incurable cancer. It is not an easy conversation to have, but it doesn't have to be morbid, and it is certainly not about giving up. For me, there is no going back to the way things were before I had cancer. The only way is forward with a new reality that isn't what you planned. I had breast cancer last year, and I am living with multiple myeloma, which is currently incurable. I always say currently because I truly believe that a cure for myeloma is around the corner. Whether or not it will be in time to help me, I don't know. But they've made some incredible breakthroughs in the last 2 or 3 years. And AI is already speeding things up in terms of drug development, research, and even the FDA approval process. But for now, I have to live with the knowledge that I can manage this, but I cannot beat it. It's not about waiting for life to resume after cancer. It's about making a full, meaningful life alongside cancer, learning how to carry it with you in a way that it doesn't crush you. My first question was, what stage? Multiple myeloma doesn't have 4 stages, as many of the tumorous cancers have. The reason being, stage 4 is metastatic cancer, but with blood cancers, it's already all over your body. In my case, I was told that I have stage 3 myeloma. I have some mutations that put me in the poor outcome category. But here's the thing, I believe that the human spirit is stronger than any statistic. Do not get me wrong, I believe in science, I believe in facts. I am definitely not woo-woo. But people beat the odds all the time. I know one kid whose parents were told that he would never walk and that he would only live to, I think it was 2 or 3 years. That kid is now in mainstream high school on the basketball team. Another friend was born with type 1 diabetes, and she was told that her life expectancy would be between 12 and 15 years. She finally died when she was in her mid-30s. Like I said, people defy the odds all the time. So ask yourself, why not me? Why not me? In my case, I am 20 years younger than the average multiple myeloma patient when they're diagnosed. You can either look at that as extremely unfair, or you can look at it as an advantage. I certainly don't think it's hurt in terms of the way that I have responded to chemo. I underwent 4 months of chemo, then I had a stem cell transplant, and after that another 2 months of chemo. Today I am on maintenance chemo. I go in once a month and I have a jab, and I also take medication daily. Horrible stuff, horrible side effects, but for now it is keeping the myeloma inactive. Cancer is with you almost every minute of the day. That's not because you're self-absorbed. Every patient I've ever spoken to says the same thing. It changes everything, and it is with you all the time. And yet for me, there are also days of laughter, days of travel, days where I forget for a few minutes that this thing is trying its very best to kill me. Your experience might be different. Maybe you can't find those moments during your day where you don't think about cancer. And that's okay. You do not have to be relentlessly positive. You do not have to see the silver lining in everything. You do not have to put on a brave face. End of the day, cancer sucks. The key is being intentional about the way you spend your time and energy and with whom. Some relationships may not survive your diagnosis, and while that is painful, those relationships were meant for a different season of life. Let go of them. Focus your limited energy on people who show up consistently and authentically. So, how do you live with incurable cancer? I definitely do not have all the answers, but here are a few things that have helped me. Maybe they'll help you too. I've learned that hope doesn't disappear, it changes. Traditional hope might say something like, I'm going to beat this cancer. Changed hope says, I'm going to live as fully as I possibly can. It's the difference between hoping for a miracle and hoping for meaningful time to spend with your loved ones, precious moments, reduced pain, and the time to say what needs to be said. This shift in perspective is not about being positive all the time. That is unrealistic and frankly exhausting. It's about knowing what matters and what doesn't, and doing the stuff that matters and ignoring the stuff that doesn't. When I first was diagnosed, I didn't want to go to a support group. I didn't do that for the first year. I just didn't feel like I needed it. And I had visions of sitting in a basement, kind of AA style. But one day my husband found me at my desk crying uncontrollably, and he asked me to try a support group. And I did. The first one was a complete disaster. It was a Zoom meeting, and it was attended by a lot of people who were truly struggling. They were at the end of their tether. They were at the end of their lives. And I felt sorry for them. But I also knew that attending the group would not make things better. It would make things worse. It was going to bring me down. And sometimes you just have to be selfish. The second group I tried, I still attend today. It is once a week at lunchtime, also a virtual meeting. And there are about 10 people who attend regularly. We share where we are on our journey, and we focus on the positive, but we don't ignore the negative, and that's a good balance. But if you feel that support groups are not right for you, you can still find support in unexpected places. Honestly, that is why I started this YouTube channel. I do not have all the answers. I don't even have most of the answers. But I do get it in a way that only other cancer patients understand. It's also important to ignore all the just be positive bubblegum people. I don't know about you, but I find them exhausting and annoying. The emotional reality of living with incurable cancer is not about pretending that it's all about attitude and gratitude. That does a disservice to everyone. There are going to be bad days. There are going to be days where you are angry at how unfair it is, when you are fearful of the pain or fearful of what comes next. There will be days where you want to curl up in a little ball and pull a blanket over your head and sleep for a week. I still have those days. I think we all have those days. You might find yourself mourning things that haven't even happened, missing your child's wedding, not watching your grandkids grow up, leaving your spouse all alone. This grief can be just as intense as any other loss. These feelings aren't weakness. They are human. You do not have to be positive every minute of the day. So where does that leave me? Today, I am alive. I am living with an incurable disease, but I'm still living. Yes, I have cancer. Yes, I have an incurable disease, but that does not mean it has to define every moment of my life. I try to focus on what counts and not what doesn't count. I wake up every single morning and say to myself, I am alive today. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but for today, I'm okay. And in the evenings after dinner, my husband and I sit on the porch swing and eat ice cream. We take a walk around the garden at dusk, pick any tomatoes that are ready, smell the moonflowers, play with the dog. Isn't she so cute? She's so cute. And I am grateful to spend those moments with somebody who loves me. Those things may go away in time, but for now, I'm going to enjoy every single moment. The measure of my life is not whether my cancer can be cured. It can't, currently. It's whether I can still find meaning, if I can still laugh, love, and be loved in spite of cancer. If you are living with cancer, it's okay to feel overwhelmed, but it's also okay to laugh and to dream and to make memories. Living with incurable cancer is not the life that you planned, but it is still life, and it still has meaning, and it still has value. And remember, there is no right or wrong way of dealing with this. Everybody is different. We are all trying to figure it out along the way, myself included. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for sharing this journey with me. If you found this video at all helpful, please like, subscribe, or leave a comment. That is it for today, and I will see you in the next one.